So right now we're just going through the hi hello party, talking to everyone before Onyx shows up and wrecks our good time.
Probably one of the most difficult parts of the run, to be fair.
It is hard to go fast and then you mess up talking to someone 3 times.
And here comes Onyx, and the only people you see after this that are on the screen are Impa and Din, so rip everyone else.
Basically, quick rundown of the plot. Onyx captures Din in a crystal, sinks the Temple of Seasons, and then the world is rotting and he lights the Flame of Destruction.
Looks like Phenomenom's ahead on the mashing contest here.
Now, when they entered Horan Village, they all had a different season. Horan Village is the only place in the game that has a random season, and it will affect their time when they re-enter it to go visit the Maku Tree, and that is the only time that it ever matters in the run.
Looks like the Octorok's being pretty nice to everyone here. That's a sight for me. I expected someone to get hit by at least one. And Dragon's cutting those corners really close. It's a risky move for such an early place in the run.
Cutting corners is the way you gotta go if you want to be fast.
Pretty much everyone getting the sword at the same time.
Oh, Fee getting in winter, so it slows them down a bit.
Oh.
And now you get to see why winter is so slow. So you see how all the players are walking through the screen with the heart piece? In winter, there's a snow pile that pops up, and that blocks you from walking through it.
And poor Phenom, he got winter 3 times, even after trying to cycle it a little more by slashing his sword, too.
Now, the Maku Tree is kind of a troll. He's like Kepora Gabora in OOT, because he'll tell you, do you want to hear this again? And you can just keep cycling through. Now we're starting Dungeon 1. It's kind of a easy dungeon, though these 2 first rooms with the Stalfos are kind of like, where is your luck lying? Are the Stalfos going to be where you can get them easily?
Nice, getting the 2-for-1 there on Dragon Screen.
Also, all of these runners should keep their hearts above 1.5 hearts because there is a damage boost later in the dungeon that will kill you if you have 1.5 hearts, so you can't do all of them.
They're going to try to kill as many keys as they can while they're on the cart, because that saves them time, just not having to worry about the keys later.
Keys are especially annoying in this game because they're so random. They can just fly anywhere. And with the knockback and low amount of iframes, it's very annoying to keep getting comboed by a key. Looks like everybody is good on the hearts. Luckily there's a fairy right before the mini-boss. Dragon getting the double hit on the bomb that takes the mini-boss's health down to half, and then you only need 4 slashes to kill it. Burning the Zol there just to save a little bit of time rather than slashing your sword out. And now they'll be doing a hard reset to do an RNG manipulation. So how RNG works in this game is it starts from a set value at the beginning, and then you slash a certain amount of times to hear a certain pitch. Dragon slashing to hear a high-pitched sword slash. Now he slashes to hear a low-pitched sword slash, slashes 1 extra time and holds for a spin slash, and then wails on the boss to keep the boss from charging, which costs about 10 seconds each time. Looks like qdoe missed the RNG manip, so he got charged.
Now the Aquamentus charge is really one of the key reasons why you do that RNG manip.
Jangler seemed to have a hard go of it, resetting a bunch to try and get the right RNG. But now this manip will be continued all the way until the power bracelet that you get in Dungeon 2. So it's a fairly long manip that we keep going in the run. We'll see if any of the runners can keep it going all the way through this time. So now Dragon slashes until he hears a low-pitched sword slash, burns the sign for 5 rupees, and then slashes 4 times. And he'll slash twice on this screen. Now what's happening here is that Rosa has 2 patterns per screen that she can do, one's faster than the other. So we manipulate it so that she does her faster pattern. Also, when we burn the signs, we'll get 5 rupees, giving us the 10 rupees we need for the run. Looks like Jangler's probably off Manip. No, he might be on it. I'm wrong.
He should be able to fix it here, even though he got the wrong Rosa pattern.
Oh yeah, no, it looks like he's back on it.
He's already got 10 rupees anyway, so the rupees aren't really the important part of the Manip for him now.
Now, Dragon's going to the Temple of Seasons, fallen down in this fiery land of Subrosia. A little slower there on the mashing, just to make sure that he doesn't slash his sword and run the Manip out of it. Oh, and Jangler getting caught by Rosa at that last moment, so he has to go all the way back and start over again.
Oh, that is rough. That is a big time loss there.
Now Dragon going down to the Tower of Winter, and normally in a intended playthrough, you're supposed to go through Subrosian Dancing and get a boomerang. But you have bombs, so you can just throw a bomb over the lava and not have to go through the torture of Subrosian Dancing.
It's the infamous boomerang skip.
Fun times. My first few runs of this, I did not know that I could do that, and so I got the boomerang anyway. Also, you see how Dragon did a soft reset. He, did a save and quit out to exit the tower really fast. The title screen rolls RNG every frame that it's on, and since you can't consistently mash to get through it the same way every time, you have to readjust the RNG, which he'll do coming out of the portal back to Holodrum.
For those of you who have not tried to manipulate the RNG in this game, or any Oracle's game, mashing start is probably the hardest and most inconsistent part of any kind of manipulation.
So here, I'll believe he'll listen for 3 mid-pitch slashes in a row. And then he'll put his rod on B? Oh, maybe he listened for 2 then. This screen changes what the mobs spawn as depending on where your rod is. Which is the only screen that I know of like it in the game, so it's really weird. But as you can see, they're manipulating it so that the moblins are completely out of their way. Before this manip was found, it was kind of an infamous area, because ideally you don't want to equip your sword.
Nice. That's always the hardest screen for me before the house there, watching that moblin in the cave, making sure he turns left.
And since Dragon missed a turn on one of the moblins here, he'll have to dig an extra screen, the snow pile here, in order to keep his RNG right. And you can see how they've been mashing start on a fading transition. That is so that they can get out of the transition more quickly, because you can start pressing start immediately, but you can't actually do any other movements until you do the whole 30 frames passes. So mashing start and then exiting it allows you to exit the transition more quickly.
And you see qdoe being kind of bullied by the moblins here on Moblin Road. That's exactly what we're doing manipulations for, to try to avoid that kind of thing.
Dragon getting them in manip, so we'll see if he's able to get through this room up here. Oh, and he is. Oh, well, let's see. Okay, he's got it. So he'll be able to throw a bomb in the next room, just kill the 2 moblins, and then grab his power bracelet. And that's why we carry the manip all the way to that room, just so that we don't have to worry about the moblins coming over and having to slash them with our sword.
Nice, a well-executed manipulation there. Well done.
and it looks like he's going to get the same one. A little more ideal, because he didn't have to do 3 slashes, but also well done manipulation. This room here is timed, but I have never failed it in a run, and I don't think anyone going through this should fail it. The only thing is that you need 6 bombs to get through it, so if you run out of bombs, it's kind of like you've got to go to a different part of the dungeon to get a refill.
That's another great thing about the manipulation too, is that there are, no matter which, if you're on backup or the preferred RNG, you get bombs on the way to D2. So if you're on RNG, you shouldn't have to worry about having enough bombs there. Now Dragon's going to try to keep bombs and power bracelet on. He wants to avoid switching out to the sword as much as possible, just because that wastes time doing the menu there. Looks like the keys are being really nice to him so far, so he's got a chance that it could be able to do it.
You know, I never thought about not switching out to sword there. Because, like, this room, I could not get through here without killing those keys.
Yeah, the underground, it is scary. Like, especially in that room with the mini swamp things, if you get hit by a keys there, you're almost guaranteed to get hit again, and that's just a heart that you don't want to lose.
But upcoming is one of the 2 glitches in the game. So, in the Japanese version of this game only, the hitbox for this mini-boss exists before the fight starts, so you can throw 5 bombs where the boss will spawn, and then kill him outright.
And this is Japanese exclusive, so if anyone were playing on the English version, they would not be able to do it.
Sad but true.
And Dragon finishing the hardest mini-boss. Let's get some clappers.
Ooh, Dragon cutting it close with that 1 heart.
Next is Phenom throwing the bombs in the middle of the room.
Now we'll be going to the Dongo. It's a pretty easy boss as long as you stay on cycle. He just opens his mouth, you throw a bomb, you pick him up, you throw him on the spikes, rinse and repeat. If you stay on cycle, he'll charge for the last 2 hits. If you miss 1, he'll open his mouth for the next time. If you miss 2, he'll charge 3 times, and that's a really big time waste.
Shoutouts to one of the other commentators here. Mighty is an absolute god at D1 and D2, so hit up his stream if you have any questions or just want to see how a pro does it. And Dragon getting that 1930 D2 essence. That is a great time.
Looks like Dragon's opting not to go and do the heart ring manip. That's like a safety manip where you manipulate Maple to drop a certain ring called the heart ring, and it restores hearts every so often when you walk. We'll see if any of the other runners decide to go for it. Phenom doesn't, because he just doesn't like to go for it.
That's my boy. And we see Dragon stopping to see that Ember Seed tree. I'm not sure that's a necessary move in the 1 through 5 dungeon race here.
It's necessary because they're supposed to be going through the route as if it were an any percent run, so you just go and get everything. But him skipping the seed tree, that's weird. Unless he's going to get it afterwards, he might do that too. But here's where you need the 10 rupees to punch Blano out of a ring to get gloves for Ricky.
Like, have you seen Ricky? Like, who would steal his boxing gloves, really, now?
And steal them. Ricky bet him in a boxing match, and Ricky lost him fair and square. Ooh. So Ricky is kind of inconsistent when it comes to his jumps. Sometimes he'll jump, sometimes he'll decide, no, I want to jump into this hole. So he's really annoying to work with, and that's why he's not too well liked among Oracles of Seasons runners. But he is the fastest. The way to get the other companions, Moosh, you have to pay 150 rupees at the shop to get his flute, and Dimitri, to get his flute, you have to do Subrosian dancing 6 times in a row. It is just as painful as it sounds. We see Jangler down there going for the heart ring manip. So he slashes to get 2 high-pitched slashes, then 3 high-pitched slashes, then slashes 4 times while Maple's out, and swings his rod down in the bottom corner to pick up that ring.
Kind of a strange point regarding just cycling RNG in this game. When you swing your sword, it cycles the RNG, but not when you swing the Seasons Rod. So it's safe to swing the Seasons Rod without having to worry about cycling past that ring RNG.
I think the reason for that is because the sword has a specific pitch that it can slash, and that rolls it, whereas the rod doesn't have a random pitch it can do. Which is equally weird, and I don't know why they did it, but I am glad, because it means we can manipulate. See Dragon doing a jump punch there, and you also see Dragon falling in a pit as to why Ricky sucks sometimes. Now, he made it winter and is coming down here because in the full run you have to come and open this cave to get this square-shaped jewel, which will allow you to access the area Dungeon 6 is in. They're not going to Dungeon 6 in this run, but since it is a warm-up race and we're trying to get people used to the run, that's why they're going for the jewel right now. And now Dragon coming up to the Star Ore. It can be in one of 4 spots, and we'll see which try he gets.
You can guess 1 through 4 in chat.
Oh, Dragon got second. I wonder what Phenom will get. So, the reason I like first and second try specifically is because you can keep your Pegasus seed going up the stairs. Third and fourth try, you have to walk up them normally, and that's slow, and it makes me sad. Phenom tragically getting 4th try. Also, Now Link is on a date. Dragon's on a date. A speed date with Rosa. She has a magic key that can open any door, and so we're going to take her to the Tower of Summer, so that we can get the season of summer to grow vines.
I wonder how Rosa feels with, like, you know, being soft reset on twice and then just having to run everywhere with Link. That doesn't sound like a very comfortable date to me.
Yeah, she's okay.
Yeah, she's got her bow, you're right.
Exactly. And then when you come back, she's always willing to go on another one. Like, she's excited. Gets to leave that seashore, staring out at the ocean.
The ocean of lava.
See, that's something I'm not sure about, because I don't know if it's lava or just really, really sedimenty water. And wonder... Oh, third try for qdoe. Shoutouts to me being young, digging up the entire beach trying to find that star ore.
Oh man, who didn't? Who didn't? Also, when I played this casually, I never knew you could, like, return Rosa to the beach and, like, kind of have closure to the date. But nah, in this run, you just kind of warp out. It's like, see ya, Rosa.
Yeah, we gotta go fast. Oof. Dragon falling 2 for 2 in those pits. But now he's going to go up, turn the season to summer, and enter Dungeon 3.
Looks like the Tactites are giving him pretty nice, being pretty nice to him there. It's nice that he didn't have to slash his sword. That wasted a decent amount of time.
Now, also, these spike guys, you can just dig them up with your shovel rather than hitting them with having them hit you while you have your shield out. It looks like Dragon will be attempting the hands mimic. So wall masters in this game will appear in a directional line ahead of where you're walking, and you can use that to your advantage to try and get the wall masters to appear in a way that will not interfere with your movement.
It is an incredibly difficult room to master, though.
Looks like Dragon got it. That is nice. Oh, Jangler having to get the star ore again because you accidentally walked off screen. Normally I would say something like, oh, LOL. Okay, I was gonna say LOL Seasons Puzzles, but there was a time when I was in practice, and I forgot how to do it, and I had to look up one of the other runs, and it looked like Dragon forgot how to do it too for a hot second.
Oof. Gotta walk off screen and reset that there. And I think everyone's encountered that who's speedrun this game. You know, you take a little break and then you come back like, oh, it's easy, and you never even think about those rooms, but then you take like 30 seconds and waste time just trying to figure out how to do it again.
Now, Dragon stayed in the doorway there in order to move the mimics without actually moving. He slashed his sword to, like, move them around.
I mean, Dungeon 3, just a quick shout out to Dungeon 3, it's a rough dungeon. It is the first dungeon you encounter where those mimics actually do a full heart of damage if you hit them. So it's lucky they're easy to kind of avoid that way, because they just mimic your movements, but it hurts when they hit you.
Dragon not getting the fast basement. but he'll have the seed here to try and go faster. Also, now with the Rock's Feather, the runners can start jumping, and that really unlocks a lot of the cool sort of platforming that the game has.
And qdoe using the sword manipulation on those hands, making sure they're all dead, not wanting to deal with them. That's more my style.
Dragon getting the fast basement going back. A rough time, but he did kill all the bats, so that makes it a lot more helpful.
Nice.
Dragon not attempting the Handsman to hit the second time through. But still manipulating that one hand so that it stays out of his way. And as you can see in Jangler's screen, even though he's getting hit, he's staying near full health, and that's one of the benefits of having the heart ring. You never have to worry about health. Oh, Dragon missing a cycle on these squid guys. They have a name, I just don't know their name. You gotta pick them out of the water with your power bracelet and then slash them 4 times.
You might be able to recover. No, it looks like the last one just disappeared right before he got to him.
Now coming up is Mothula, your favorite boss from Link to the Past, mixed with Moldorm, your second favorite boss from Link to the Past, because Mothula is flying around with a pit, and if you fall down, her health resets, and it's just like a great time. There have been so many times where I've fallen in that pit, and I've been like, really? Really?
Some of the best times I've had speedrunning were falling down that pit, honestly though. And by best, I mean most frustrating and rage-inducing.
Dragon getting a really good pattern on Mothula and getting to kill her quickly.
Great fight. Wow, just over 34 minutes, man. Dragon is putting up great times for these dungeons. And Django got hit by one of those mimics, but he doesn't have to worry about health at all since he does have that heart ring.
So now we'll be seeing an area that changes based on which animal companion you have, but since every runner has Ricky, it'll stay the same as the Natsu Highlands. It's the slowest of the areas, but Ricky's still the fastest. Also, shout out to the Light Legs actually being nice and not eating Dragon, because every time I go through, they just eat me. They have a very large hitbox, so it's very easy to get caught up in them.
Wow, getting 2 Pegasus Seeds there. You want to kill those little electric blobs there just so that for the chance of dropping a Pegasus Seed. Now Dragon is pretty much set on Pegasus Seeds and he can spam them however much he wants going through the next dungeon.
Yeah, coming through here you want a Scent Seed drop and a Pegasus Seed drop so that Pegasus Seeds to move faster and Scent Seeds for the Dungeon 4 boss.
One thing we didn't really touch on here, experienced runners usually wait for screens that fade in, like this screen going into Sunken City to menu, because when you menu going into that, you save a little time, just because once you exit that menu, you don't have to wait for the fade out to resolve in order to move again.
Now, here, when Dragon's getting Dimitri, the kids demand all of your bombs. You're gonna need bombs for Dungeon 4. So, what he's gonna hope for coming up through this next part is for a bomb drop so that he doesn't have to get a chest in Dungeon 4 and waste a little bit of time. Also, that's the clue to do that, making the stairs, is hit all 4 eyes with 1. So it counts that, like, if you slash more than 1 time, it won't count you slashing it all in 1. But if you hold your sword and do a spin slash on the other 3, it'll count you as hitting it all at once, rather than, like, you know, it saves you some time pushing blocks altogether.
Do you know who discovered that?
That was Dren.
So pretty much like everything in this game was discovered by Dren. Well, almost everything. I know Jangler had a hand in developing that manipulation we saw earlier with Dungeon 1, Dungeon 2.
Yeah, Jangler developed the first half, and Z-Master extended it. And upcoming is the most exciting part of the run. When you enter this next part of Subrosia, you get bodied by 2 Subrosians who steal your feather, and you've got to play hide and seek.
Oh, I am so hyped. Are we gonna get some shot calling, Mighty?
No. Oh no, Jangler fell during Mocula, so now he has to do the fight over again. That is very tragic. So, as you can see, you can dig, pretty much do whatever you want when you're here on the screen, because you can't move until the 2 guys move off screen. So, you can just mess around digging stuff up. I refuse to dig anything up in this screen because I've gotten hit by a fire Pokey before and it's caused me to die, and I will never do it again.
It only takes... Well, I was gonna say it only takes once, but for me it took about like 3 times for me to learn that lesson.
That's just because of your strong will and fiery passion. Phenom digging a P because it's the beginning of his name, and also the beginning of the name of the guy who first started running the game. These guys have the same pattern every time, so you never really have to worry about anything. Also, they have such great vision. As you can see, totally avoiding seeing Dragon, even though he was right ahead of the red guy.
I mean, just as a personal preference here, I always like to take out the Fool lore that they replace your feather with, just so I can, you know, spam it a bunch of times here, because you never get to use it otherwise in this run.
An interesting fact about the Fool's Lore, the Fool's Lore actually does damage, and does the same amount of damage as the Master Sword. It's just a shame you can never use it anywhere, because you need the feather to escape this part of the game.
And we see Dragon using a Pegasus Seed there. That's because he found the Pegasus Seeds on the way there, and he has a lot of extra to use before he gets to the dungeon.
Now in spring, you can bloom flowers, whether they be the rock flowers that you can then cut and get places, or the shooty-uppy buds that shoot you up cliffs. I don't know their name, but I like calling them shooty-uppy buds.
I'm gonna use that from now on.
Dragon using another seed here, because, like Puffy said, he got a lot.
And I also noticed that Jangler got that bonus Pegasus Seed too on the way, and he's picking up that Scent Seed drop too, so he got really good seed drops on the way to Sunken City. And now we see Dragon kind of removing a rock that's in the way here, because again, he's got to follow that the route for any percent here.
And they removed that for when you're coming to Dungeon 7. And as you could see, Dragon sort of pushed himself into that mushroom. That allows him to clip into the rock slightly and grab the rooster through the rocks, rather than slashing flowers, and it saves a menu.
A flawless rooster skip.
Rooster clip. We don't do rooster
Ah,
skip.
yes, rooster clip.
You've been playing too much LADX. This ain't LADX. This is Oracle.
You're
Clearly
right.
the superior game.
You are double right.
Shoutouts to LADX. It's a great game. Dragon trying to farm and see if he can get any bombs, but no luck. So hopefully one of the moblins up here has a bomb drop for him, or else I'll have to get that chest in Dungeon 4.
And actually, doing a ground pound with Moosh, like, on the way to the screen transition that you're going to see here coming up, it's actually pretty valuable, because if you don't ground pound before that screen, Moosh is going to say, hey, you know, you can, like, do this if you charge up when I'm in the air. But we're not going to see that text, because we did actually just already do a ground pound, so Moosh is like, oh, you get it. I'm not going to tell you.
Also, Dragon getting that swag, 2 pits and 1 hover.
Mad swag.
So since he didn't get the bomb drop, he's going to have to get the chest in Dungeon 4. It doesn't waste that much time, it's just like, aw, really? You didn't want to give me a bomb?
And just kind of a side note, it is personal preference, but Mighty, how do you feel about Dragon's Feather on B strats here?
Oh, it's fine, you know, you put it where you want to put it.
That is just something that I am not used to.
I'm more concerned about all these poor people who believe they put their sword on A. Clearly the sword belongs on B, but, you know, personal preference and all that. Now, there are times when that moblin, when you jump down, can be right underneath you. I have gotten the moblin kill me before, and that is just tragic. You get warped back to the keyhole, but it's just tragic. I didn't notice if Phenom got the bomb drop, so I don't know if he's going to have to get the chest.
He's gonna have a menu coming up here. We can quick check and see if he got bombs. Looks like he did not get bombs, so he will be going through that chest as well.
Oof, man.
That is not very lucky, because those flowers actually do have a pretty high chance of dropping bombs, as well as killing moblins. Those have a really high chance of dropping bombs as well.
Oh, they do?
I think, like, more than usual. I think the only thing that may have more are, like, the little bugs that spawn in facade fights. But even
Those
then,
have a high chance of dropping bombs?
well, it is RNG, and these are Oracle games, so they're not going to give it to you if you know you really want it.
When you fight Facade normally, the mini-boss in Dungeon 2, if you run out of bombs, he'll spawn spiders that can drop bombs. But, you know, when you need them, and he spawns the spiders, that just inevitably none of them are going to drop bombs, and it's just like, oh man, really?
I like what Dragon did there. So, normally, like, at least when I play this game, when those Zols, he was pushing that rock up to the switch to open the door. So usually when the Zol spawns really close to you, you gotta pull out your sword and just kind of make it get out of your way permanently. But he just kind of manipulated the movement, so he saved a menu there. That's a really smart way to play that room.
Dragon did not do the little fast strat for the basement there, so we'll see if Phenom does it and if the bats cooperate with him.
That underground room in D4 is another room where I have lost too many runs.
So it looks like he'll be able to do it. You buffer, like you press start immediately, and that affects where your platform movement, and then you can move really quickly across that screen. Ideally, you don't fall in the pit, and then you can get across the room while you still have your Pegasus seed active, but he fell in the pit, so he just had to wait for the pattern to start again. Also, Dragon got a really nice puddle room. Ideally, you want the life lights to be close to the water's edge so you can hit them in there, but he didn't, but he still got them relatively fast.
Dragon also getting pretty good RNG with those Shrouded Stalfos, being able to take care of them really quickly in that room. And qdoe just getting that key in to access D4.
Now this is Agunima, so you have to light the torches to show which one has the shadow under him, and then you slash him to damage it. Ideally, you get him down in 4 cycles.
And Dragon just taking a little time there while the boss is, you know, writhing in pain, waiting to explode. Just grabbing an Ember Seed just to be safe there for later on in the run.
Dragon getting lucky without the keys. Sometimes they like to hop around the chest and you're just like, please, let me grab it and I can leave you alone.
I have never treated this room the same way after I accidentally, like, just got hit by a key, thinking I opened the chest and then jumped back down, had to reload the room.
Oh man, that sounds awful. Now coming up here, what you want to do is hit all 3 of the torches and then do a save and quit. You can save and quit before the chime happens. However, one time in a marathon run, I hit it before the chime happened, and I had to go back through and re-hit those torches, and it was tragic.
It was a godlike clip, though, by the way. Just a quick side note there.
The bats in that lever room not bothering Dragon. Sometimes they get in your way and they'll get in the way of your Ember Seed and you'll have to go through the room again to hit the levers. Also Dragon getting the jump, which is a fairly tight jump, making it and able to get the boss key really nicely.
The keys in that room especially are ones you have to watch out for. They can ruin that jump so easily.
Personally, for me, if the keys are like in the way of like the jump, like they're close to the edge or where I want to jump, I'm just like, nah, I'll take the time loss. It ain't that big a deal.
I just pray. I'm stubborn.
Praying is always a good option. Now you see Dragon has equipped the Gale Seed. Since Red Wizrobes take more than a slash to hit, you can just use the Gale Seed and gale them away. Faster than having to kill them or wait for them to fall into a pit. Dragon getting that jump, that is a very tight jump, and I have moved on to just buffering it because I fail it so often.
Just buffering is the safest way to do that, to do any kind of risky jump.
But now we're on to Goma. Now, a thing about Goma, normally when you fight her, you're supposed to take 10 hits to hit her claw off, and then hit her eye 5 times. But that makes the fight really heavily based on luck. So you can just line yourself up to shoot her 15 times in the eye, and she'll die. It's about the same amount of time if you get optimal luck if you do it normally, but you never want to risk that.
That was a great fight that Dragon had there. Only missing, I counted like 2 seeds that he kind of missed there, but still a great fight.
Oh yeah, no, it was really solid. He got it really well.
And Goma didn't even decide to like scuttle around either. That was excellent. Another thing, just with the bosses, I mean, Dungeons 1 through 3, the bosses are pretty straightforward. It doesn't take, like, you know, extra skill or anything, but I would say Dungeon 4 is the first boss where you really gotta practice to be really good at it.
Definitely. And upcoming in Dungeon 5 is one of the worst bosses in the game. 6 and 5 are just awful. Terrible. So, Dragon went and grabbed the Pyramid Jewel. That's the second jewel you need to get into the area where Dungeon 6 is. Again, we're not going to need it for this run, but it's practicing the route, so that's why they're getting it. And now we'll be going to my favorite visit to Subroja because it has some of the most fun jumps. They look amazing when you get them done right, but they can be tragic when you keep falling into lava.
Getting to D5, it's probably one of like the shortest splits that you would ever have in this run, but it can be tragic missing those jumps, just like you said. We'll see if Dragon's gonna go for like the diagonal one, or just kind of go, yep, just kind of straight over and then jumping up.
That diagonal jump is silly. No one should ever go for it.
I've just recently stopped trying to go for it. It is not worth it.
Proud of you. Now this jump is a little bleary. You can make it without a Pegasus Seed, and sometimes I'll be like running out of Pegasus Seed, so I'll jump over it, but it's hard to make a jump like that without a Pegasus Seed. So basically what Dragon got was a bomb flower, and they need the bomb flower to bomb these rocks to enter the tower up bottom. And since it's the last of the seasons that he gets it, there will be an extra text box.
I actually think it's kind of funny. When they place the bomb flower and it's about to explode, you actually do have kind of free reign of movement. And since this is a speed run, you're just kind of like, nah, I'm gonna walk right up to that thing that's about to explode, no problem.
See, the bomb flower knows what's organic material and what's inorganic because it doesn't affect you, unlike regular bombs that affect everything around it.
Which is an important mechanic for D8. And a jangler just coming up on that slingshot in D4 now.
Now, the thing about those mushrooms is you can't have two mushrooms despawning at one time on the screen, so you have to throw one off to be actually optimal.
I wonder why they programmed it that way. That just seems like such a quirky thing to program.
Because the other mushrooms don't want to cry and see, like, Mushroom Mama doesn't want to see two of her babies disappearing at once.
That's understandable. Just another quick shout out to Jangler's run that he's doing there. Akis was about to get in the way of that switch room, and he just kind of had to shoot an extra Ember Seed. He handled it very well, but that is another room where it's very easy to be trolled by Akis.
qdoe getting messed up and having to switch to Ember Seeds instead of staying just on scent for Goma. When you run out of Ember Seeds, you have to go to the Ember, and then when you run out of Ember Seeds, you have to switch to Mystery Seeds and just hope that they choose an attacking seed rather than a Gale Seed or a Pegasus Seed to imitate. Now, Dragon has the Magnet Gloves. It's a unique item in this game that allows you to use the power of magnets. So you can do some pretty cool jumps with them. Dragon opting to take the mask off the Helmazor. Normally I just hit them, but you know, to each their own. Now in this room, you have to remember which ones you kill, because you have to open the chests in that order, or else they'll turn into anti-fairies.
Ooh, getting a Pegasus Seed drop too. That's a nice little gift from those Armos. Wow, he's got so many Pegasus Seeds right now.
Yeah, it's nice when the Armos drop Pegasus Seeds like that. Now, how I like to classify this dungeon is collecting keys and using keys. Right now, we're still in the collecting keys phase.
Dragon and qdoe save and quits lining up there pretty masterfully. And Jangler just finishing up D4.
Dragon doing some neat jumps that I have not tried before and might in a future run. But now Dragon will be coming up to Steiger, and he's annoying.
Yeah, because this mini-boss has, like, preferable RNG patterns as well, like a lot of the other things in this game, and, I mean, we don't really have a way to manip that right now. I don't think it'd be very practical to try to manip something, though, in this dungeon.
There are lots of keys in this dungeon, and keys roll RNG at a very high rate.
Like every 2 frames, I think, right?
Yeah, and the amount of time you would save by getting an optimal pattern for Steiger would just not be worth it. But Dragon on pace to get a 3 cycle because Steiger had his tail to the left, so it's a lot easier to get 2 hits on top of your first spin slash to do a 3 cycle rather than your standard 4 cycle.
And because Dragon didn't get the heart ring, he does have to grab that fairy there. It is very rare to not, you know, be at low health at that point if you don't have the heart ring.
And upcoming is a pretty neat basement room, doing it fast, so we'll see what Dragon does. Oh yeah, Dragon's going for the fast version. It's so cool when it's done fast and well. This next room, though, is just terrible. So this is the boss, Big Dogger. You move this spike ball around and hit Big Dogger 4 times. And then you drag a spike ball to try and kill the mini Big Dogger.
Oh, and I've never seen that room done that way, going to the boss room. That was pretty neat.
And that one cycle from Dragon was amazing.
Well played. Dragon has finished first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 1 minute, and 49 seconds. That's a great 5 essence time.
Oh, and Dragon continuing on as if he's going for 6 essence.
Alright, so we're gonna see him gather the rest of the jewels, and then we're gonna see some RNG with some slingshot mystery seeds coming up here too. Meanwhile, Phoenomenom is in the boss room. Should be finishing up soon, hoping for that one cycle just like Dragon.
Dang, that one cycle was so good!
Oh, wow. Taking Dig Dogger to town. Way to go, Phenom. Probably one of the best boss fights in D5 that I've ever seen. And the official SRL time for Phenom is 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 15 seconds.
qdoe keeping and trying to go for this really silly jump, which I don't think is ever worth it, but, you know, to each their own.
And it looks like Phenom's just going to enjoy the view outside of D5. Can't blame him. It's a cool looking dungeon. Unicorn's Cave. Dragon's entering the Lost Woods now. Probably some of the best music, too. Actually, qdoe and Jangler are really close in the race together.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be tight. That was helped by qdoe attempting that dumb jump, I think is the official name of it.
I thought that was HSS skip.
No. HSS skip is HSS skip. Then there's Fool's Jump, and then there's Dumb Jump. Pretty sure Hope calls it Dumb Jump.
Ooh, and Jangler, we got to see what happens when you do that, when you open the chest in the incorrect order there.
Something I didn't mention before, you have to wait for the shadow to appear when the magnet falls, or else when you come back the magnet won't be spawned. Also, qdoe using up all his seeds, which will be interesting for later.
Oh, what a Helmosaur, though. Poor Jangler. Oh my. Those Helmosaurs weren't really kind to any of the runners today. I know for a couple they just kind of hung out right in front of the chest for he'd open it too in that room.
qdoe trying to go for a improvised sort of 3-cycle. When you get hit by Steiger after hitting him, he'll stay in his vulnerable form for just like a second longer, and you can attempt to try and hit him there. Phenom going for HSS skip, because, you know, why not?
Wow, already in D8. That's gotta be a record coming up.
LOL, Puffy, please.
Ooh, he's got the jump. Oh, he's got the second frame. We're good, boys. He made it.
No, and since qdoe's out of Pegasus Seeds, he can't do the sick fast room strats.
Dragon is actually just zooming through D6 right now.
I think he saw his run and was like, oh, well.
Might as well keep it going.
Yeah.
Oh, Dragon's PB does have first try HSS skip, right?
I do not know. Let's see if qdoe can keep up the pattern of 1 cycle. And he does! Oh, lord. These people, man.
A lot of skilled runners here today in these races. Well done.
And qdoe is done.
Finishing 3rd place. Well, actually, Leafeon finished 3rd place with a time of 109.24 here.
qdoe is Leafeon.
I did not even know that. I feel bad now.
And now we're on to Jangler coming up. He's low health, but again, Heart Ring being what it is.
He's fine.
Or, you know, you die on the spikes for the health refill, you know. Strats. That's what it is. It was a clearly cultivated strategy to get a health refill. Oof, this room is tough. But the bats didn't mess him up too badly.
Ooh. Dragon is experiencing one of the bad parts about not getting the heart ring. You are at the whim of where the fairies move and whether they choose to come to you or not. So he is kind of stuck until before the boss room with 2.5 hearts here.
No, because the mini boss room has, right before it has a fairy.
Oh, that's right, that's right. And then Vire also gives you, you know, a fairy after you beat him like every mini boss.
And Jangler is done as well. With an official SRL time of 1:11:35, and it looks like Venenator finishes in 5th with 1:11:54.
And Vire here, we're getting to see a little glimpse into D6. Hopefully you want Vire to charge you every single time like that. Otherwise, he's just gonna like kind of run around you. There is a chance you can hit him like that. Dragon's trying for it. Just because I've run ages now, I just kind of pull out bombs here in case I have any. Because bombs are also a good way to hit Vire.
Okay, but yeah, that's it for the 5 Essence race. I don't think there's anything after this. There will be another race next Saturday for 6 Essence, and then after that 7 Essence, and then a full any percent race, and then it'll be time for the season's tournament to start, which is super hype. So, if y'all want to learn, you can take part in the warm-up races, 6 Essence next week. Learn up to there, come and join and try and learn it and see if you're interested. It doesn't matter if you've ever played before or if you even want to be a part of the tournament. Just come, learn, hang out, have fun.
Also, for learning resources, there is an Oracle's Discord. Dragon also has tutorials on YouTube that you can look up. They are very useful. That's how I learned this run. Otherwise, yeah, be sure to follow all the speedrunners that you saw here today. And, I mean, the community is super friendly. I mean, we are always happy to help out with any questions you have or anything else that may come up.
So, that's it for us. I'm Mighty Mouth.
And I'm Puffy.
Thanks for watching. Bye.